quest. The Illusion of the Mob. Voltaire Valon's Chapter Act 1. Okay. Fragmented testimony. You've heard that Alhaitham has become the acting Grand Sage. Considering his personality, will the other scholars accept him? Time to pay the Academia a visit! Time to go back to school! Again for the 10th million time in a row! Because that's a horrible existence we live in today. Constantly going back to school. Without ever graduating.
How's everything going with your thesis?
And yet everybody, for like an essay.
I should be able to publish it next month. A few days ago, I was worried that I'd have to stop my work on it. Thankfully, that didn't come to pass.
That's actually very common in university to have like a month to do an essay. Dear God, a month, because you have other courses to work on and multiple other courses and multiple other essays, so it's not easy.
Well, Azar was one of your thesis advisors. Honestly, I was afraid that you might have gotten dragged down as well. How did things get settled?
How we're able to move on despite there being a giant turnover rate and all the tutors and academic officials.
The newly appointed acting Grand Sage reviewed all of our projects and gave us permission to continue our research.
Basically Alhaitham was like, you know, just do it anyways, I'm not gonna care.
Acting Grand Sage? That sounds like a new thing.
Yeah, I heard that selecting new sages has been taking some time, so he's just filling in.
Who?
But it's all thanks to him that our research results weren't jeopardized.
It's all thanks to him. Our work isn't cancelled because the last professor was so corrupt.
Once my paper is published, I'm definitely giving myself a long vacation and getting some much-needed rest. Mondstadt sounds like a good idea.
Why would you go to Mondstadt? Also the idea of having to have a long vacation and just relax. I'm already there.
They're really out of their minds, making Alhaitham the acting Grand Sage?
Why? Why are they out of their minds?
Take it easy, Professor. I'm puzzled as well. Just going by qualifications, you're one of our most preeminent scholars. I don't know why they picked a stripling like him.
Boo! Do you think I'm angry because I wasn't chosen for the position? No! It's because I don't understand why they chose him!
What don't you understand?
He was in class. When I asked him about it, he retorted that self-study was better use of his time.
Just because he's like, I don't know, it's almost as if the student has become the master in this situation. Also, why do you even think that self-study is not better? For some people it is.
What brazen arrogance! Misery of miseries! For the Academia to have him as the acting Grand Sage?
Okay.
Professor, don't get so worked up. I'll go get you some water.
Psst.
Darn.
Want to hear a secret? I've heard the new acting Grand Sage is from Haravatat.
Really? Who is it?
Someone named Alhaitham. Never met him myself, but he's a real hot topic right now. Lots of things being said about him. Hard to tell what's true and what isn't, though. There's also a Vahumana scholar who's been in the spotlight recently. They say that he's a likely pick to be one of the next sages.
Oh, is he teaching any courses? Maybe we should drop by.
Wow. News of Alhaitham being the acting Grand Sage sure spread fast. Some people don't know who he is, though. Guess he's less famous than Paimon thought.
First of all, he is somebody who does get on everybody's nerves, so there is a bit of an impression left by, which makes people second guess whether he should be qualified or not. Second of all, like, he is somebody who does, I don't know, like, does he even want to be acting Grand Sage? That's up to him. Or is somebody else gonna jump in?
Some people are saying good things and others bad. Especially that old guy just now. He really doesn't like Alhaitham.
Yeah, he's like, he didn't do the thing I want, therefore he doesn't have my vote. And we stopped talking.
Hey, are you okay? You don't look too good.
Wait, why?
The Matra.
What?
The Matra?
I'm Ilias. I have to talk to Amatra about something important.
Why? Why do you walk to us thinking Matra?
In the state you're in? You shouldn't push yourself.
You're so goddamn tired from reading so many essays and writing so many essays. It's ridiculous.
Why don't you tell us what happened and we'll pass on your message to Amatra?
Don't have to talk to Sino.
No, I have to tell them myself. They are the only ones I could trust.
Why? With what?
Sorry, can you lend me your arm? This is an important matter. Failure is not an option.
What kind of a... Like, that sounds like you're on a mission, and it's like, mistakes will not be tolerated.
Since you put it that way, fine. We'll take you to Amatra.
Give me your arm. Okay. The Illusions of the Mob. Why is it called Illusions of the Mob? I really wonder.
We promised to take him to Amatra, but we don't know that many, do we?
Actually, we do.
Wait, Sino should be back at the Academia.
Mm-hmm.
Hey there. Excuse us, but is Sino at the Academia?
We need to talk to him for some reason. Some random guy is like sick as hell.
You two look familiar. Are you friends of Mahamatra Sino?
Yes.
I'm afraid he's out on a mission right now.
But of course, he's barely around.
But if you'd like, I can pass whatever message you might have on to him.
Tell him to get over here.
We ran into this guy by the gates, and he seems really eager to speak with Amatra.
Oh? If you don't mind, why don't you tell me about it first?
He's not gonna tell him.
Siraj.
What?
Siraj. That name sounds familiar. Isn't he a Vahumana researcher?
Vahumana researcher?
Yes, one of their most renowned, in fact. I hear he's as daring as he is intelligent.
Okay.
There are rumors he'll become Vahumana's next sage. But please continue, good sir. What about Siraj?
I want to report him for conducting a dangerous experiment.
On what? Why? How? With who?
He kidnapped me, tied me up, and took me to that horrible cave. Experimental equipment everywhere.
Wow, he actually answered almost all those questions.
I ran as fast as I could, a little slower, and he would have caught me.
There's no rush. Please, take your time. What kind of experiments was he conducting? Where is this cave?
I don't remember.
How? Why?
Huh? You can't remember?
You can't point.
Rosh walking towards me, and then my head started feeling weird. It's like a nightmare that I can't recall. I just know that that place is dangerous, and that they must be stopped.
Why doesn't he remember this one?
Oh, I heard they conduct business in the tavern. We have to hurry.
And what? Go capture them and interrogate them? So... is it Siraj is actually doing these things?
Even if what you say is... Alright. I'll have some of my colleagues look into Siraj.
Okay.
But before that, I would like to administer the Matra lie detector test.
Wait. An actual lie detector test?
You think I'm lying?
Please don't take it the wrong way. This is just standard protocol.
What if he's been conditioned not to lie, but he believed the lie? How do you know that lie detector test is not going to take that... Like, people believe lies as truth, so how is that gonna pass a lie detector test?
Sorry, but can you two wait out here a little while? We'll be back soon.
I want to see how the lie detector test goes. But no, they're gonna do it on their own. What if he actually is lying? You wait someone longer than expected.
Huh? Alhaitham?
Yes, it is him.
Let me bring you up to speed. First things first, Ilyas passed the lie detector test.
So he wasn't lying.
This indicates that what he said is highly credible. As such, we've decided to launch an investigation based on the leads he provided.
What leads?
Per protocol, this matter was reported to Acting Grand Sage Alhaitham. After hearing about it, he left a message for Mahamatra Sino and then asked to join the investigation.
Huh. It's kind of weird for you to be working with the Matra. Is there a special reason?
Considering how Alhaitham normally just does stuff on his own, and him and Sino don't get along, it is kind of out of character for him to do that.
You're overthinking things. My interest was piqued is all.
I'm just slightly interested. Don't get any bright ideas.
Really? I'm unsurprised you have this much free time.
Funny when it's someone who I know, it's all hands on deck.
In that case,
Yes.
It's already against protocol for acting Grand Sage Alhaitham to participate in this investigation. As for you two...
Yeah, well, it's a different situation, and desperate times comes for desperate measures, or different protocols that are kind of outside purview.
Oh, never mind. After all, you were the ones who brought Ilyas here. I'll allow you to accompany us, but you have to promise to keep everything confidential.
In other words, shut up! And don't say a thing.
Don't you worry. Our lips are sealed.
Alright, in that case, I'll fill you in on what we know. Ilyas claimed that Siraj will be conducting some business with a Kasharawar researcher at the tavern. This is one of his few clear memories. It seems he stumbled upon this information while escaping. Incidentally, Siraj isn't at the academia right now. He applied for long-term off-site research 1 month ago.
And was it approved?
It's close to the time that Ilyas had given. So we've decided to head to the tavern and investigate any suspicious persons.
That's right. Arav, prepare to head out. You two, do as you will.
Oh, come on! We already said that we're coming!
But then we decided to go. Go to the tavern. Go to the place of alcohol. A name for a bar you could possibly give to a tavern.
We're here, acting Grand Sage Alhaitham. What's our next course of action?
Just completely smash the door down, go barging in, guns a-blazing, and be like, FBI, open up!
Acting Grand Sage Alhaitham.
Looks like you haven't read any memos lately.
Looks like you don't know how I operate.
The new Academia decree clearly states that even a sage doesn't have the authority to interfere with the Matra's actions during an ongoing investigation.
Wow, you're gonna just pull back when you're needed the most.
If your superior were here, he wouldn't be asking me what to do. Instead, he'd be telling me to stay out of the way.
Instead, he'd be asking you to not get your hands dirty in the lower protocols because the previous superiors were so concerned with keeping their hands clean and not getting involved in anything.
You're right. Understood. Then please wait here as we lock down the perimeter and... Ilyas, please stay here. Acting Grand Sage Alhaitham, I'll have to trouble you with the protection of our primary witness.
Sure. Though I'd rather he just protect himself.
I'd rather he just pull his own weight, especially if I have to pull my own weight. Wait, he actually did pull his own weight. All the way over here.
He's the same as ever. Casually ignoring people, just like he did back at Aru Village.
Yeah, well, so what? If he wants to ignore, let him ignore. Move on. You'd be horribly mistaken to assume otherwise.
Answering a simplistic question only enables the questioner. Besides, I need him to understand my position clearly.
And what is your position on the matter?
Arav has just as many doubts about my coming along as you do. But unlike you two, he's making this matter more complicated than it is, with his considerations like the acting Grand Sage is trying to seize the Matra's powers. That question was obviously bait. The Matra were once under the influence of the sages, and so were often subject to these bureaucratic traps.
So whose orders do they follow?
The test was strictly unnecessary, though. I hope that our exchange will assure him that I won't interfere with their work this time.
Because he doesn't want it to be another political situation.
Why is this so complicated?
Because the developers said so, and deal with it, Paimon! Like governor or high public office, and you don't like having to deal with political situations where people just might turn on you in an instant.
Excuse me, acting Grand Sage Alhaitham. I've had a question on my mind, and I need to know the answer no matter what. Have we met before?
Why? It's interesting he actually asked that. Like, he did, yeah. He does have memory problems, but did they?
No. I have no recollection of ever meeting you.
Is it possible that whatever experiments he underwent made him think he did?
Haha, I thought so too. I probably wouldn't have had anything to do with someone of your caliber.
Unless we're not talking about Alhaitham. Maybe we're talking about someone else? I don't know.
Then why did you ask?
He's curious. He wants to know if his memories were correct or if he's still all there.
Well, For some reason, I felt a sense of familiarity when I met you for the first time.
Really? A misperception, perhaps. Or...
Part of the experimentation.
Acting Grand Sage Alhaitham, we've apprehended a suspect.
Is it Siraj?
Siraj?
No, it's the Kasharawar researcher who has dealings with him. His name is Narendra.
Are we on a wild goose chase? Narendra?
Acting Sage Alhaitham. Wait, can someone please explain what's going on? I admit that I did steal some mechanical components from the lab and sell them, but does something like that really warrant the personal interest of the Acting Grand Sage?
No, but I don't think whatever you're... Like, stealing is a whole other thing, but I don't know.
What have I gotten myself into? I know I let greed get the best of me, but please, I promise that this won't ever happen again.
Okay, talk!
I would like to ask him a few questions.
I'm gonna... Fine. I gotta come up with more witty retorts for this point.
Of course.
Do you know Siraj?
You should.
Yeah, that's the name of my buyer. He asked to make the transaction at the tavern, but he never showed up.
Where did you meet before? How do you know him?
What were the details of this transaction?
And that.
He's doing some kind of experiment that seems to require many power generators and electrical components that can only be found in our project.
Why would you need that many power generators?
He contacted me in private and said that he'd pay a large sum of Mora if I was willing to put some aside for him, under the pretense of them being defective parts. We had originally agreed to meet at the tavern earlier today to do the trade. I sure didn't expect to get stood up, or run into you all.
Yeah, well, when you're kind of doing a bit of crime, you should expect someone to show up.
Perhaps Siraj was aware that Ilyas might leak information, so he intentionally didn't show up. Whatever the case, it seems that this lead ends here.
Yeah, but why attempt to make someone be here unless this whole entire situation is a distraction and he showed up somewhere?
The good news is, regardless of what Siraj was planning, his progress will now be severely hindered by a lack of power generators and electrical components. We still have time to conduct our investigation.
Yeah, but what leads do we have? Because he's
Do you have
already...
any more questions for the suspect?
No. He's all yours. But I'd like to borrow Ilyas for a while.
Why?
Oh, that's fine. We conducted a comprehensive lie detection exam, which showed that he has a genuine case of amnesia. We're not planning to pursue any further breakthroughs on that front. However, I am curious, what do you need him for exactly?
Maybe Alhaitham knows somebody who looks like him, and that's why he needs, Ilyas, or what's his name?
I've read some papers regarding amnesia, and I'd like to try restoring his memories.
So basically, it's just pure academic curiosity. It's nothing to do with him or someone who looks like him.
I see. We'll be returning to the academia then.
Okay. We'll be get done. We'll be get
Follow
going.
me.
What is it? Is somebody lying, or somebody not, like, giving the entire truth? Or is this whole thing a trap and you're trying to set somebody up to get them to react a certain way? I feel like you're onto something. I feel like it's more than what's going on.
Siraj didn't show up at the tavern, and Narendra didn't give us any leads. Ugh, that means we're stuck. Alhaitham, are you serious about seeing things through? Iman's pretty surprised that you're this interested in the case.
Something tells me he knows something.
I thought you would have guessed the reason by now.
Huh? Iman has no clue. Hey, do you know?
So basically, Alhaitham's connection to Siraj?
Yes. We were classmates.
Okay, so... Of all the people, you normally... But didn't your previous teacher say you barely show up to class? So why would you even bother caring about someone who you barely saw in class?
Oh, so that's why you asked to come along when Arav briefed you on the situation. So you're not here because you're interested in the case itself, but because you know the suspect?
All the more reason why you shouldn't be on the case, but...
You couldn't be further from the truth. But I wasn't expecting much from you to begin with.
Yeah.
For the time being, all you need to know is that we were once classmates. I became the scribe afterwards while he continued his academic endeavors.
Uh-huh.
He submitted a thesis 1 year ago, and the Grand Sage at the time asked for my opinion. I did not approve of it because it committed one of the 6 cardinal sins by touching upon human evolution. From violating matters regarding human evolution to attempting the forbidden and fearing none, the 6 cardinal sins are the origin of all evil in this world. They are also what the sages use as a reference when formulating or amending the rules of the academia.
Fearing none. So, did he go full narcissist and see himself as, like the be-all and end-all?
My opinion was that Siraj's research was both overly naive and in violation of various core principles. The Grand Sage took some of my suggestions on board and ultimately decided to reject the application.
So that's why he's buying energy sources and electrical components.
Because he didn't go through with his project under a thesis, so he's doing it on his own.
He's most likely trying to circumvent the rules and conduct his experiment in secret.
Yeah.
That sounds super suspicious. Oh, we gotta stop him.
But why is he doing his experiment?
Ilias, can you try to remember things again?
I'm sorry, but I've already tried many times.
It is possible for a person to subconsciously forget some of their memories as a defense mechanism against extreme stress.
So, in other words, just relax.
However, these memories aren't truly lost, but merely sealed away. They can be restored with the appropriate stimulus. Now, try to recall things you care about. They don't...
Actually, I feel like I've forgotten more than just the memories of the time I was kidnapped and experimented on.
Like what?
The kind of person I am, the things I've done. I can remember some things, but I can't recall some others no matter how hard I try. But I do vaguely remember that there are 2 things that I have to do no matter what.
What?
Do tell.
The first is to get my paycheck from the academia and give it to my younger sister in Gandharvaville.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure about the details, but it seems that I would send money to my younger sister every month to pay for family expenses.
Why?
And the second thing? What's...
I can't remember. Sorry, there's just so much I can't recall.
You're able to remember the first thing, but not the second thing.
Not unexpected. However, you're the only one who has seen Siraj and knows the exact location of his cave at present.
Losing your memories must be really painful. But don't you worry, we'll help you get them all back.
Maybe we actually have to help him deliver his paycheck.
Oh, thank you so much. I have so few memories that I don't even have a clear idea of who I am. And my head's always ringing. It feels like I could faint at any moment. But amidst all that, it also feels like I've been set free somehow.
How?
Nevertheless, I have you all to thank for bringing me what clarity I do have right now.
I don't know, because he's been set free, but is this related to the fear no one?
Now, I do remember that I worked part-time at a place in the academia called the Research Preparation Center. That's also where I got my monthly paycheck.
I see. In that case, let's go and find whoever's in charge.
So we gotta go get his paycheck. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Done. Mustache.
Acting Grand Sage Alhaitham. I've sent this period's research expenses report to your office. Have you taken a look? Are there any issues with it?
I did. Recent research expenses have decreased quite a bit compared to past figures.
I wonder why. Why are there cutbacks? Is it because of, like a giant turnover rate in the academia? Or is that usual? Let's pay the new guys less! Says the newer guys.
Yes, though that is primarily because there are fewer scholars with research needs. But that can be a rather convoluted topic.
I believe you know this individual. His name is Ilias. He worked part-time here, and he's here for his paycheck.
Oh, yes, of course. Though, Ilias, where have you been these past few days? That was our busy period, but then you disappeared without a word. Everyone had to pick up the slack.
I'm sorry, something unexpected came up. But I know I've caused trouble for everyone. Is there anything I can do to make up for it?
The other researchers have more or less finished your share of the work. However, there is one thing that is yet to be settled.
Those frickin' books on the table are so goddamn big.
Do you remember Chandra? You were in charge of following up on his off-site research application. He retracted his application a few days ago and canceled his off-site project. He's the 12th person to retract a research application this month. I'd like you to ask him why he did that.
Why?
Chandra is probably having coffee at this hour, so you can find him at the cafe.
The 12th person who tried to do an off-site research? Why?
Understood. Then, about my paycheck.
I'll pay you in full once you return. However, make sure you don't disappear without saying anything again. Is this acceptable, Acting Grand Sage Alhaitham?
Is everything according to your standards? Yes!
I have no objections.
Let him finish his work and move on. Here. You!
Yes. Long time no see. What can I do for you? I heard that you canceled your research project, so I'm just here to ask you why.
I think the better question is, where were you going to do your off-site research project? Maybe it's related to the thing we're looking for.
Oh, that. It's really nothing special. I just don't feel like going anymore.
Why?
I'm not the only one who canceled, right? I mean, people have had no motivation to conduct research lately, haven't they?
Yeah, but why?
No motivation to conduct research?
Like, is that a depression thing, or is that like you just don't want to?
Yeah. Say, who might you be? You look sort of familiar.
Why does everybody recognize Alhaitham?
Oh, don't mind me. Please, continue.
Is he also, like, is Chandra also another person who was experimented on inadvertently and he's barely remembering?
Well, with the downfall of the sages not long ago, many of the projects that they led were put on hold while they were being investigated. With the situation being so volatile, people are picking up random things to do to kill time. No one wants to risk starting any new research until it's clear how things will pan out in the future.
When you say how things will pan out, you actually mean what the new sages would have interest in, right?
That means I have full say.
Wow, talk about blunt. But that isn't the only reason for the lack of motivation to start new research.
Then what is?
So what are the other reasons?
Well, because the Akasha terminal shut down.
Because you couldn't rely on the internet, and now you have to do your own work manually.
I'm sure you're all aware that we require all kinds of knowledge to perform any of the research we do.
Does it mean you require all kinds of technology to do all kinds of knowledge?
Back then, the Akasha would respond to any of our requests for the knowledge we needed. It was beyond convenient. We didn't have to spend an extended amount of time studying, so we were able to immediately run various tests and experiments.
Okay, I should have taken that into account, the fact that the Akasha was shut down. So basically, no one has ever had any motivation to do anything, and everybody was using the Akasha like it's a crutch.
I see.
You get it, right? After having had a taste of something so amazing, who can be bothered to manually sift through data and files ever again?
Maybe you gotta learn to do the hard part, even if you're so dang easy to do the hard part. Life is not always easy mode.
There are only a handful of people at the academia who are starting new projects or performing research. Most people are like me, waiting for a recognized researcher to start a project before immediately applying to join. Although our names will be further down in the paper, we'll have a much easier time. We don't have to do most of the mental heavy lifting. All we have to do is focus on our assigned tasks.
Because everybody barely has any motivation after the Akashas went down. What? Oh god, the frickin' after. What is it?
What's wrong?
What the hell?
My head... it hurts.
Ooh, is this part of the experiment? Dang. Why does his head hurt? Why is he looking weird, funny? Like it's blurred.
I remember now. I remember what Siraj said to me as he approached. You will become Siraj number 36. Fuse yourself with a consciousness under my control. Think only in accordance with a set module, like a worker bee in a beehive.
I'm starting to think Siraj, like, based on what Chandra said with the Akasha going down, I'm starting something like the Akasha to bring back almost like a Hive like experience. In a way, but on a different level.
Paimon doesn't get it. What does that even mean?
I think Siraj wants to bring back the Akasha. Because... or something like it. In a weird, messed up experimental way.
It's what Siraj was researching and the topic of the thesis he had submitted. Collective consciousness and the path of evolution.
Collective consciousness?
Siraj believed that by achieving 3 objectives, he could create a collective consciousness in human society and drive humans toward their ultimate evolution.
He wants to bring back the Akashas despite Nahida getting rid of them.
First, he would rank test subjects in descending order of ability, with number 1 serving as the Overmind.
This Overmind would then divide tasks into numerous modules and delegate them to the collective's members, based on their assigned number and the task's importance. Lastly, this system must support the rapid exchange of information within the collective, or even better, allow its members to share their memories and emotions.
Paimon still doesn't get it.
Think of it as linking many minds together and tailoring a given mind's assigned work based on its compatibility. Eventually, everyone's minds will be consolidated into a new form of existence that is both an individual and an organization.
Okay, so it's like blurring the lines between the person and the group, as if one is the very same. Huh. So...
Siraj believes this collective consciousness is superior to individual humans.
Yeah, well, how many times have I heard the idea of, oh, we're being superior or overcompensating, and how many times before have I seen things fall apart?
Whoa. Squishing a whole bunch of people together? Paimon thinks that sounds horrible.
That's basically the Akasha before we came in, but the Akasha was like a light version of that. Siraj wants to bring back the light version.
It's just as Alhaitham said. Siraj gave all the test subjects different numbers. Bigger numbers meant you had a lower rank, so your assigned tasks were less complex, such as being responsible for everyone's basic needs.
So it's like trying to put you on a hierarchy list?
Smaller numbers were ranked higher, so you'd be given more complex assignments like planning for the future. Siraj referred to me as number 36, and I think that was a low-ranking number. I also recall that Siraj said his plan was proceeding very quickly, and that the Hive would soon be complete.
So what? He wants to bring back the Akasha, and it's almost there.
Oh no, then we gotta hurry!
I tried my best, but that's all I can remember. I still can't recall where the cave is.
Take your time. You'll eventually remember it all.
What's off?
You were only designated as number 36? What a shame. From what I can see, your talents merit a smaller number.
I'm not sure what Siraj's numbering system is based on. Anyway, we're done here.
Is it based off of how the Akasha would have been done? Or is it... yeah. It really makes me wonder.
Please, wait. I heard you all talking about Siraj just now. Are you looking for him?
Yes!
Huh? Do you know something?
Well, Siraj is pretty popular as of late. I heard he's gained recognition from a lot of well-known researchers. Supposedly, he's a strong contender for being one of the next sages.
Again, the political situation.
There are many who would give up everything to be a part of his research team. I'm nothing special, though, so I doubt I'd get the opportunity. That said, I do know a researcher who received an invitation from Siraj but declined it. Her name is Janaki.
Hopefully the invitation should give a when and where.
If you're interested, you can try to find her. She's usually reading at the pavilion in...
Fine. Fine. Broke my leg.
Are you Janaki? We'd like to ask you a couple of things about Siraj.
We have many questions to ask you, Cliché. Oh god, did she have stuff in her throat as well?
Ilyas?
Oh god, what is up with this voice actor?
Do you know me? I'm sorry, but I don't recognize you.
Are you playing dumb with me?
She sounds way older for someone who looks young.
No, I'm not. I actually have amnesia, so I've lost a lot of my memories.
And? Are you trying to say that I should forgive you just because you've forgotten what you've done? Or are you using the acting Grand Sage as backup to settle things with me? The two biggest loners teaming up. What a terrible thought.
What did you do? Why do you care? Why should I care? Why should anyone care? And yeah.
That's enough. There seems to be a dispute between the two of you. I heard that Siraj once invited you to join his project. Is that true?
So, what if it is?
I need to know where it is.
Siraj did extend an invitation to me, and I was also interested in his project. I think it was about collective consciousness or something. Anyway, he said that I could be number 45. I refused because I thought that rank was too low.
You knew about the ranking system before even joining the project?
No one wants to be placed at the bottom. Certainly not me.
Nobody wants to be placed in a hierarchy system, especially close to the bottom.
Ilias is number 36, and Janaki was supposed to be number 45. Ugh, just how many people did Siraj have his eyes on?
How many people did he talk to after number 45? Add that number to 45 and you have your answer.
Tell me, did Siraj tell you how he assigned numbers?
Yeah. Remember how the sages took advantage of the Akasha and extracted Yana energy from our heads back then?
So it was a sage thing.
They left a document that records the amount of Yana energy that the Akasha had extracted from each person. I don't know how Siraj got his hands on that document, but he used it as the basis for his numbering system.
So it's based off of the previous system.
I see. He believes that this data can be used to evaluate a person's computing power.
Yeah, but why even have it as computing power?
Putting aside the validity of the data, it is meaningless to judge individuals based solely on their Jnana energy.
At most, Jnana energy can only be seen as representing a portion of a person's abilities. Humans are complicated beings, so it is impossible to evaluate them using a single criterion.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Whoever is doing the experiment is doing so under the assumption that everybody is simple. So, we are dealing with a simple-minded person who thinks he's above everything. Again, I feel like it's a metaphor for something else.
See? I knew I couldn't have only been ranked as 45.
What else do you know about Siraj?
That's it. He came to me, I refused, and that was the end of it.
I feel like there was more to it, but I also feel like she just didn't want to be a part of his simple little universe.
Is there anything else you needed? If not, I'm out of here. I've had enough of this eyesore.
She's all like, oh, I'm so horribly disappointed in you.
Please, wait. I still want to know what I did in the past.
You really forgot?
Yes! Why did you not take his word the first time?
I swear, I don't remember anything.
Paimon can vouch for him. The mantra also said that he truly lost his memories.
So you're not gonna take his word on it, but you're gonna take Paimon's word on it.
I see. You know what? It's better this way.
Oh, okay! Just push the mental mind memory restart button.
I get angry just thinking about it. So I really don't have the patience to fill you in. All you need to know is that you got a lot of people in trouble back then, including me.
Because you failed to show up to work?
That's all I have to say.
What did he do to piss her off?
She's gone. She doesn't seem to like you very much. Do you really not remember anything?
How drunk did you get to forget everything?
I really don't. But after she said that, I had this heavy feeling in my chest.
What did you do to piss her off?
I guess I did something really horrible.
Did you participate in the experiment and you were one of the, co-conspirators?
Do you want to remember?
Huh?
Even though you're a witness against Siraj in this case, you've also lost your memory.
He wants to know, but he doesn't want to remember.
No one can force you to remember if you don't want to. Even if you manage to remember, all you would need to do is feign ignorance and tell us that you tried the best you could.
I'm not sure what to do. Like I said before, for some reason I felt a sense of freedom when I realized I had lost my memories. But I feel like I shouldn't be allowed to go free so easily. I still want to remember everything. What should I do?
I can look up your file. Something that caused trouble for a lot of people in the past. Would you like me to look into it?
You want me to pull up your permanent record?
Yes, please.
All right. Then let's return to the House of Dana.
Go get your paycheck. Oh.
Let's split up for now. Ilyas, you go and get your paycheck. The rest of you, come to the archives with me.
Let's split up. We'll cover more grounds that way, cliche.
We'll meet back here later and then head over to Gandharvaville.
Because... why?
Okay. Thank you all so...
Relax, Ilyas. Being nervous accomplishes nothing.
What happens if it actually does? I really wonder.
That's true. I'm ready. No matter what I've done, I'm ready to face it.
What if you killed somebody? What if you got $1 million in debt? What if you committed a heinous sin and sold your soul and you did something you would never do?
I'll also try my best to remember anything else related to Siraj. We'll put an end to all of this.
Says the person who wanted to get involved in an experiment only to lose their memories and make me wonder why they decided to get involved in it in the first place.
I'm holding you to that. See you later.
I'm gonna remember what you said and use it against you when the time comes because I feel like you'll actually turn around, forget about it like everything else, and or maybe pretend you didn't hear it. Anything can happen, alright? Just wait and see. Except for in Genshin. Yep. Up! Here. There you are. Is that gonna be your new desk? That is gonna be your new desk.
The important files from the last few years should all be here.
How? Like it's barely even organized. It's just a pile of big, gigantic books on your desk and big papers. Everything's big. Here? There are many vacancies for sages and the number of suspicious people spreading various news in Samara City has increased significantly recently. The core of 30 were looking to recruit surveillance to ensure the peace stability. Here. About the sleepwalking eccentric. The Rituanis Darshan is the abundance of weirdos. Recently there is a new rumor that the student had the ability to write 7-cent theses. The circumstances are still under investigation. About the ghosts of Party Dia. There are witnesses that says there is a mysterious shadow wandering about the Party Dia. I can't pronounce that. At night, the investigation found nothing suspicious and the case was closed. Okay, now what?
What's wrong?
Nothing. Anyway, I found Ilyas's file. Let's meet downstairs.
And actually talk about it. Why can't we talk about it here? Why can't...
What have I done?
This file indicates that you were once commended by the Academia for your courage and sense of justice.
Also, it does say
you were considered a hero.
Huh?
Says you are a hero. This file indicates you were once commended by the Academia for your courage and sense of justice. Why was he considered a hero? And why would he ever go into an experiment that caused him to lose his memories? What kind of heroic act did he do that got what's-her-name to hate him?
Yes. Your instructor was engaging in academic fraud, and you were the one who reported him. Your report was found to be true after a series of investigations, and your instructor was brought to justice by the Matra.
Huh.
This incident caused quite the commotion, and the Academia sent you a commendation.
Okay, happen again.
What is it? Are any memories coming back to you?
No, it's just... my head feels like it's being ripped apart again. It hurts. Did I seriously do that? Then why?
Do what?
Let's put this matter aside for now. It isn't directly related to Siraj, so...
I'm sorry.
What did you do? What did you do?
It should have been something good to hear, but my body is instinctively rejecting it. I feel like I'll black out if I try to remember.
Why?
Take it slow. Recovering memories is no easy task, especially when it involves memories that you don't want to remember. Just do what you think is right.
Thank you. I'm not sure how you're so calm and composed all the time, but it does make me feel more confident about the situation I'm in.
I'm really wondering if, because he's an experiment, and possibly part of the hive mind, there's some type of control telling him not to go through with this to remember everything.
Let's head to Gandharvaville and deliver Ilyas's paycheck to his sister. Come on!
And my guess is, because he's also an experiment, maybe the people who are connected to him also know, and Alhaitham is being very coy not to trigger looking for Siraj in order to get him to have his gigantic headache.
We should be close. Let me think. It should be this way.
The cave? Does he actually remember the cave? Or no, the paycheck to his sister.
Ilyas, what are you doing back here?
It's nothing. I was just wondering how everyone was doing.
He's gonna go see his family.
You sure everything's okay? Did they bully you again? Ilyas, what's wrong?
I'm fine. Just a minor headache. I haven't been getting much rest lately.
Back then, I told you not to be a hero. Look how things turned out.
Why was he being heroic?
I can't imagine how things are going for you at the academia. We've even been receiving threat letters.
So, him being heroic caused somebody else to suffer?
You don't have to force yourself to stay at the academia. You can always come back home.
I'm all right. I just need a little rest.
Ilyas doesn't seem like he wants them to know that he has amnesia.
He doesn't want his family to worry. That could be simple.
Hey, that's enough, you two. Ilyas isn't feeling well. You can keep nagging him once we get home.
That's probably the little sister. And what happened to the other guy? There's a fourth person.
Let's find somewhere to talk.
Wasn't there a fourth person here? And then now it's like 3 people we're talking to?
So, how's your headache?
It's much better now. Oh, here. It's this month's paycheck. How's everything at home?
Same old, same old. It's just that everyone's worried about you.
Uh-huh.
Don't mind their nagging. Deep down, they know that you did the right thing.
What was the right thing?
It's just that after hearing a lot of bad rumors about you and seeing all the threatening letters, well, they're mom and dad. Maybe they just want you to conform a bit more.
Right.
Conform.
Yeah. You don't remember? After the incident, Ilyas? What's wrong?
What incident?
Ah, I see. I remember now. Don't worry, I remember now.
You're acting a little weird today, you know? Anyway, I understand your decision. But Mom, Dad, and I just want you to be happy. I don't care if you're a hero or not. I just want you to enjoy life and relax more.
Your understanding is a great comfort to him.
Is it? That's good. Are you a friend of his?
So my guess is we're just going through scenarios that help him to just be less stressed.
More so these two. My name is Alhaitham, and this is the Traveler in Paimon.
Oh, that rings a bell. At any rate, I feel more at ease knowing that my brother has friends.
I feel like the idea of ring a bell and being at ease is what's going to help Ilyas.
Would you like to join us for dinner? I just happened to buy some extra food.
Yes.
Sorry, but I still have things I need to take care of.
Well, that's a shame. Okay,
Well, that's a shame you can't stop by.
Don't worry. I won't do anything to make you guys worry again.
I really wonder what you mean by that.
You remember now?
Yes, I do.
The location of the cave.
Thanks for that. You know, you don't seem like such a bad person.
And yet, some other people like to judge the book by its cover by saying you're arrogant.
Is that your way of conveying gratitude?
Oh, my apologies. But I meant every word. I said that there was a sense of familiarity, but what I really meant was a sense of loathing.
Why do you loathe Alhaitham? For being better, for being smarter, for being more arrogant, and taking on the role of Grand Sage?
Loathing?
Yeah, but having spent some time with you, I realized that you're not someone I dislike to that extent. Strange, isn't it? Why did I have those thoughts at that time?
Were you told to have those thoughts, or was it part of the collective consciousness?
My strength is that I don't care about what others think. If you could also develop this quality, then you won't be as bothered by complicated social relationships.
Agreed.
It'd be great if I could think like you. But first things first. I remember where Siraj's cave is now. I'll take you there.
Good!
Really? Paimon remembers that you said there are 2 things that you had to do. What about the other one? Are we not gonna do that first?
There are more important things at hand. We have to stop Siraj before he completes his collective consciousness, or it'll be too late.
For what? And there's no such thing as individuality anymore?
You're right. Let's head out.
Okay. There we go.
This is the place.
Okay.
It's so well hidden.
Okay. And now we have to teleport away. Fine. Secret cavern. Ilias got here. Seems the place where Siraj does his experiments. I need Dendro and Electri. I also need to pull out other characters at some point, so I'm gonna need to choose a different A team. Or B team, because why not? Yeah. Go. Go with my A team. I'm probably gonna have Alhaitham with me. I probably am having Alhaitham with me. And my guess is Patrick is gonna say he's all really powerful. I have Alhaitham with me. Smack. Okay. Now what?
Weird. It's bigger on the inside than Paimon imagined. Are you sure it's still a work in progress?
Almost every secret area we've ever gone to is always bigger on the inside. Alhaitham is indeed very strong.
Ilias, do you remember this place? Huh? Ilias?
Why? I don't sense him nearby.
How did you lose him that easily? How?
Did he get separated from us? Should we wait here or turn around and look for him?
Did he not fall down the cliff with us and somehow hover on his own? Does he not know how to climb a cliff?
There's no need for that. Let's keep moving.
You got the sense that we'll meet him anyways, because we're getting close to the experiment, and my guess is he's subconsciously attracted to the big machine.
Alright. We'll continue in and...
Dry mouth! I drank so much water, it's still not even enough. When I drink so much, but I still get really dry... Uh-oh. What the hell? Why do I have this?
It's okay, Ilias. You've done more than enough for me already.
I don't understand. Everyone knows that Johnny is stealing your research. Why is no one willing to go public with the truth?
Someone wanted to shut him up.
He shamelessly used your thesis to send in a project application. And whenever the project hits a wall, he asks you for help. Everyone knows what's going on.
Do you know how many people are working on that project? If Johnny was kicked out because of academic fraud, that'd be the end of the project. Too many people would be affected.
But he's obviously taking advantage of you. He throws you the hardest work, and after you're done pulling all-nighters, he struts around with your research data and takes credit for it. That's not right! Why are you putting up with this?
A lot of people warn me to not say anything. And I think they have a point. This is just how things are. All I want is to graduate without any problems.
Oh god, because you're dealing with people, like, everybody wants to be able to progress without problems, and it just seems like having to put up with people who give you problems.
It's okay. He's at least paying me.
Half a year of your time and effort. Countless all-nighters, and casual threats and insults. All for a measly 20,000 mora? He's treating people like cattle.
Enough. It's fine. I just need to suck it up and get it done.
Oh god. That's pretty messed up. So that's the memory. Are we getting the memory? Wait, why did we get the memory?
What's the matter?
I think I saw a glimpse of Ilia's past. But why are we getting the memory? Is the Traveler also another experiment?
Huh? You could read minds this whole time and you never told Paimon?
I'm pretty sure Nahida was the only one who could read minds, but I don't know if this is a mind reading thing, more like a memory thing. But then again, I really wonder how the Traveler is even connected to the whole thing.
Of course not. I was also able to see those memories just now. They were probably the ones that leaked out while Ilias was connecting to the collective consciousness.
So it just, like, offshooted to us.
Connecting Collective consciousness?
Oh my, there's a huge plot twist coming!
It's clear that this place isn't a work in progress. The hive has long been finished. The collective consciousness project is already complete, and Ilias is now returning to the collective. Not entirely. Keep walking and you'll see why.
No, he didn't trick us. He still has his own will. I didn't think he would. Hello? What do we have here? You may place the key into the car. What? Wait, what? What am I supposed to do? Here? Okay, that's what I need to do. Huh. Yes, I know Star Trek. I know what the Borg is. Yeah, well, there's a whole other thing. It's got the similar concept, but it's different. Okay, I think I know what to do. Gotta remove keys and take them with me. Here. Here. And here. Okay. I know how to put two and two together. Okay. Whack.
Right now, emerge. Let me scry.
Smack. God, the way I move around.
Germinate! Fate is upon you.
Move!
Right now,
Move, Dad!
right
Here you are.
There they are. 1, 2. I love how I move around super fast. God, the way I jut and jet and judder and stutter. Nope. Hello, ultimate.
Process of elimination.
Yes.
How bold.
Smack and smackety whack.
Shadows of fate. Right now, right here.
Here we go.
Nothing lasts forever.
God, I move back and forth, left and right. God, I can barely see myself going. I'm getting so damn fast for this one. Or maybe the newer characters are just like that. I judder and jit back and forth.
It's completely different from what Ilias said. This place looks like it's been done for a while.
How could we not have seen a place like this under that many trees? But of course, we couldn't have seen a place like this under that many trees.
Contributing to the collective by only thinking to your strengths. How easy.
What? No, we can't talk to him. So... Huh.
Alhaitham. Just thinking of that name fills me with hatred. We must get rid of him.
This is politically motivated, isn't it? Because Alhaitham is set to be the acting Grand Sage, but Siraj is also set to be another Sage to the whole entire project. So my guess is Siraj hates Alhaitham because he was chosen to be a Sage? Huh. What? Another spillover?
An entire year's worth of work down the drain. And for what? Your reputation?
You could have played hero any time. So why couldn't you have waited until the project was complete?
I don't understand what you guys are saying. Are you saying you don't care that Raju jumped to his death?
Raju. Ooh. Another flashback.
It's a shame. What happened to him? I thought he was stronger than that.
When you're dealing with a narcissist who puts everyone down, takes the credit for everybody else's work, and puts them through hell and expecting everything, what else do you expect?
Everyone has been working hard to complete the project. He could have endured for a bit longer.
In any case, we're done with you. Because of your recklessness, the Matra are putting Johnny on trial. None of this affects you at all. But do you know how many people, myself included, needed this project to complete their studies? Now our futures are up in the air. If worst comes to pass, we might...
I'm sorry.
There's no need for an apology. It's not like I'll accept it anyway. You'll pay for this.
So, he was responsible for undoing the project that Siraj brought up? Or was it Siraj? Or... yeah. Huh. So he feels bad as well.
You're blinking out again. What did you see this time?
He played the hero by talking to the academia and discussing Ilyas's project. And because of that, it got a lot of people to look at him the wrong way because their academic progress was thrown off.
Don't jump to conclusions just yet.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that's a conclusion. That's more of an interpretation. Yoink. Okay. Huh. Can I grab this? Can I get up there? Am I gonna need 2? I have 1. Okay, I definitely need 2. So, my guess is I need 1 for the other side. And then take it over here.
Just in case, why don't we take both keys with us?
How can we take both keys? His friend got his work stolen, plagiarized his friend offing himself and snitched on the person he stole the work. Ooh, another flashback. Which was a little project being shut down. His friend got his work stolen and plagiarized.
This is all very strange. Is there really no research group that will take you?
His friend got his work stolen and plagiarized, which led his friend to offing himself. He then snitched on the person who stole the work on the mantra, which led to the whole project being shut down. Huh.
Well, to pass this course, you must complete a paper with other researchers. I know you're a hero for fighting academic frauds, now can we?
Yeah, well, if you're creating a system that creates heroes, then at some point you're going to have to learn to deal with them.
Maybe you should try to improve your relationship with the other researchers. Getting a reputation for being too unconventional will not stand you in good stead in the long run.
That's a lot to take in, not gonna lie, says Chris. Yeah, so doing the right thing gets you hated by everybody.
I understand.
Because everyone is too committed to a cause or a person simply because they want to graduate.
You seem troubled.
That's probably him, Siraj.
Who are you? Where are my manners? My name is Siraj.
Siraj? I've heard of you before.
The world hates people who don't fit in. I imagine you've had your fair share of trouble.
I don't think it's the world hates people who don't fit in. It's the world that produces people that don't fit in and then just create them as outcasts regardless.
After you reported Johnny for academic fraud, you were ostracized and shunned. Even your family can't understand your actions.
He got a visor on his head. Those things are called visors. Yeah.
However, I'm working on some research that will help you merge into a collective. That way, your life won't be so dolorous. How about it? Wanna have a go?
This is how it started. Because he knew he couldn't work with anybody else by doing the right thing. Siraj took advantage of Ilyas's. Siraj took advantage of Ilyas's dire situation, persuaded Ilyas to join the Hive.
I can't believe it! He really did trick us! That giga jerk!
I wouldn't say he tricked us, but he did it on his own.
No! Siraj is the real giga jerk here! Ilyas is just a regular jerk!
Okay. I guess you also have a thing for hierarchy on the list of jerks then, Paimon.
Ooh, Paimon's so mad! We're gonna find him, and we're gonna make him explain himself!
Right. Okay. And wet. So is that where he is? Big, wide open area. I think we know what this means, Chris.
You've come.
Yes. Is it actually Ilias, or is it Siraj?
I intentionally slowed my integration into the collective consciousness because I wanted to see you one last time as Ilias. And I wanted to apologize to you as him. It was only at Gandharvaville that the second thing I must do occurred to me. Bring you all here.
I can tell there's going to be a big fight coming up.
To throw off the mantra and bring Alhaitham to the hive. That was my task as Siraj number 36.
Is it really becoming part of a collective, or is it undergoing a process of wanting to be connected to other people simply because of having a moral standing?
You were already Siraj number 36? But you passed the mantra's lie detector test!
How does one do that?
Yes, I truly did forget many things during... However, it's not that I got scared and forgot. I chose to delete those memories.
I somehow knew you tried to do it on your own.
It's difficult to fool Alhaitham, so I had to create the perfect guise for myself.
And the best guise is when you believe your own lies.
Yeah.
Correct. I only told you that the hive was incomplete because I had deleted my memories of its completion. It was finished a long time ago. Before I left, I was already living as number 36. Now, I choose to return to that identity.
I almost feel like we're having one of those dream-like situations where people are part of a collective. Like Nahida's story quest. Impossible lie detectors have done rear your pulse heart rate, so he did lie. He lied to himself and believed his own lies to get past the lie detector test.
Only here can I be truly free.
Because you feeling like a hero meant you didn't feel free and you had to do something really messed up, and in order to shake off that emotional burden, you willingly took on the experiment to become part of a collective.
That's all I wanted to say. After I enter this room, my consciousness will merge back into the collective.
He erases his own memories.
This is goodbye.
Is this your decision?
Or is it Siraj's decision?
Yeah, the person we know is Ilias, not Siraj number 36. The outside world is painful sometimes, but Paimon doesn't think that's a reason to run away.
And almost like that previous story quest, that was like I wouldn't say super long. I had a feeling he was going to do that with a low blow, where people are joining a collective to avoid some type of pain in real life. But of course, they can't run away from pain in real life.
Do you need more time to consider, Ilias?
I think he needs more time to get over his decision that he made.
Hey, who are...
That is Siraj.
So you're that Giga Jerk!
Giga Jerk? How bold of you. Have I done something to offend you?
You're trying to do a huge experiment which is banned by the academia, and what you're doing is completely unethical.
You!
I modified Akasha terminals to allow users to share memories and emotions. Then, I recruited researchers from academia to build a collective consciousness.
I somehow knew he wanted to somehow bring an Akasha system back.
I assigned numbers to everyone and divided the experiment's tasks amongst themselves. Here, people can live to exercise complex mental thought. This is what they have chosen. All I've done is fulfill their wishes.
Is it really them, or is it you? You wanted to do this project using them, so if anything, it says more about you than it does about them.
You're just trying to justify yourself!
Then I ask you, what's the difference between here and the outside? There are researchers at the academia.
Oops. Struggle.
In extreme environments, while others become idle and listless. People are so obsessed with collective will that even those on the fringes will attempt to fit in after suffering setbacks. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Ilias?
I feel like he's not taking into consideration that maybe it's not a good idea to undergo this experiment. He wants to avoid pain.
There's no need to deny this, as it is fact. It is natural for social creatures to conform.
Yeah, but conformity involves some aspect of consent, which you kind of get rid of in the process of forcing people into a collective.
And the terminus of conformity is a collective consciousness through which even an ordinary bee colony can become a powerful swarm. Replace the bees with humans, and this model becomes even more potent. Welcome to the hive, Alhaitham. You once arrogantly denied the merits of this project before the Grand Sage.
Yeah, for a reason.
A few simple words from you, and my research was consigned to nothingness. Of course, I'm well aware that you don't care about any of this. You don't care about the pain of others. But I didn't give up. I made my thesis into reality.
Is Alhaitham actually gonna confess that he does care, but not in the way other people should expect?
When we arrived, I noticed many empty rooms in the hive.
Oh, you noticed that? Then can you guess where their inhabitants are?
Here. You're expecting the Traveler, Alhaitham, and many other people that you sent invitations to.
The answer is the Academia. They're executing another phase of the plan. Plan to install me as a sage.
Again, the political decision, because both Alhaitham and Siraj are being considered. So the whole thing was a political decision.
The collective consciousness links all of us into a single mind, showcasing our individual strengths as we work together. We are able to execute complex undertakings while instantaneously modifying our strategies in response to unexpected situations.
He's trying to bring the Akasha system back, and in the process, the older sages in the Academia, in the earlier Archon quest, did the same thing because they believed in the Greater Lord Rukkhadevana at the time, before history was changed. He's kind of going back to that traditional aspect of the Academia.
Everything has been proceeding smoothly. You are our biggest obstacle. With you out of the way, I'll use my growing influence to turn the collective consciousness into a legitimate study and control. And it will lead the Academia towards a new future.
No.
We won't let you do that!
What can you achieve with mere words? You weren't even able to change Ilyas's mind. Return to the hive, number 36.
It really is Star Trek. What the hell? Oh god, he put a visor on.
Yes.
Wait! Don't go back! Look! There are lots of people out there worried about you, and you aren't an outcast! Aren't we your friends?
That's easy for you to say, given that you're travelers. Will you two continue to stay at the Academia? When you leave, tragedy will repeat itself.
So, these problems are gonna happen regardless of how many times I'm there. You just gotta simulate, so to speak.
Return, number 36. You know as well as I do that comforting words don't make life any easier.
Yeah, well, that's also the thing that you kinda... That's easy for you to say because you literally use comforting words on him to get him to join the hive.
Ilyas?
You two are just as arrogant as Alhaitham. You think that everyone should be like you and live according to their own truths. But you don't realize that most people simply want easy lives.
Yeah, but you're criticizing that, and you're criticizing the Traveler and Alhaitham for what you're doing. So I don't think the Traveler and Alhaitham want everybody else to be like them. If anything, you're literally collecting other people and putting them in the hive and making them like you. So, hypocrisy at its finest.
I allowed number 36 to leave the hive without his memories only because I knew he would eventually return. This proves that I know more about human nature than you do. Alhaitham, do say a word or...
I made those words quite clear a year ago. The model you presented was extremely unstable. No amount of garish packaging will change its fragile nature. It can't be helped. If you were clever enough to realize those problems, then you would have been aware that the hive changed when Ilyas returned to this collective consciousness of yours.
What?
So he's pretending the whole time.
The collective needs motivation to execute its plans, just as machinery requires energy to operate.
So in other words, the whole entire thing is a house of cards.
That's why you, as the Overmind, synchronized your hatred of me into the collective, prompting them to create and execute a plan to eliminate me. However, when Ilyas returned to the collective, his memories and emotions were shared with the rest of its members. This includes his perception of me.
In other words, Alhaitham's becoming the overseer, or overriding everybody else?
Thanks for that. You know, you don't seem like such a bad person. Strange, isn't it? Why did I have those thoughts at that time?
This contradicts the hatred you had provided them, and these two differing emotions will give rise to new conflict.
So that's it. Wait, so you knew that Ilyas would return to the hive?
By giving him a good impression while doing it, so he could bring those emotions to the hive and use that as like a weird mind emotion virus.
And then you pretended to keep him around just to fool Siraj.
Yeah.
Wouldn't expect any less from you, Alhaitham. Once the collective consciousness bugs out, we'll take that opportunity to... wait.
Alhaitham, I told you. You're too arrogant. Did you really think that your little scheme would be enough to destabilize the... Ilyas's return had indeed introduced abnormal emotions into the hive, but such a meager drop cannot give rise to waves. Your struggle has been in vain, and it's time to end it. Allow me to show you what makes the collective consciousness so formidable.
Why is every Genshin character able to predict what will happen? Well, how am I able to predict what happens? Okay.
So many monsters, and something feels off about them.
Are they also part of the collective?
I also integrated monsters into the collective, though I ranked them last. Even so, they are part of it. Despite their lack of intelligence, perfect cooperation can be achieved, much like soldiers who have undergone strict training. Now then, drown in endless waves of monsters. You will all pay for your ceaseless arrogance.
Hey, Alhaitham? Your plan didn't work, so what do we do now?
Fight him off and come up with a different plan on the spot.
I've already sent my gift to the collective. It'll take some time for the recipient to receive it.
Okay.
You two just need to brace yourselves for the nuisance in front of us.
So we gotta hold it.
Well, alright.
Okay, so we gotta fight. And get over here.
Decided by destiny. Emerge, right now.
Dun, dun,
Emerge.
dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
Well now.
3, 1, 2. God.
Right here. Delve into destiny.
Over here. You. Come on.
Flicker.
And smack. Get over here. Where you go? Up. Oh yeah, there we go.
Alhaitham isn't that bad of a person.
But it has to be done. He must be eliminated so that we can evolve.
Dang it. Dang it.
Emerge, right now.
Defract.
Written in the stars.
Boom.
Right here. Emerge.
Nice. I can hold it. Bam.
You see? That is the will of the collective.
Yeah, well, I
Even
can...
with the hatred gone, they continue their work. An external anomaly cannot shake the collective's stability.
No, but a fissure certainly will.
Right now. Right here. Shadows of fate. Right now. Right here. Right now.
Come on. Keep smacking him really hard. Yeah.
I'm always watching.
There we go. Smackety whack. Smackety whackety whack.
Hold out for much longer.
Oh, I can hold out a lot longer.
Than we imagined.
Something's gone wrong at the Academia. The Matra.
Get over here. I can hold.
Scatter.
Boom, shakalaka, boom.
Upon you. Right here. Emerge.
Boom.
What's going on? What's with this sudden influx of information?
Silence! As the Overmind, I command you!
So much for the hive mind. Now it's starting to go.
Germinate!
Here you are.
Delve into destiny.
Come on.
Right now. Steady as stone, as a dutiful maid.
Come on. Do it. Smack him harder and hit him. One landing on top of the other. There. Dang.
Let me scry. Right. Is that all? Right now. Right here. Emerge.
Nice. Me one shroom. Me one mushroom. What? Shroom. Come on.
Right now.
There we go. I am trying my best to pull out every single trick up my sleeve.
By destiny.
You're not using Alhaitham correctly. Yeah, well, I am trying my best to pull this.
How is that possible? Why hasn't it been resolved yet?
Oh crap! What is this? What is this big thing?
Judgment?
Ow.
The will of the collective cannot be wrong. The Overmind must have made an error in his judgment. But Siraj is the most
Come
intelligent
on!
among us.
Bam!
His judgment is the
Oh god, everything's happening all at once. Oh god. Such a burp. I don't know what kind of burp it is. It's a freaking ostrich burp. It's right here. Get over here. He got knocked down. I'm sure going to lose a dendron fusion. You need to send him up. Come on, smack him hard. Smack him hard. Up, keepy uppy. Whatever it is, I don't know.
Emerge. Right now. Right here.
Come on. There we go. Ooh, hello. Nice, he's got a grapple.
Spring forth!
Nice, come on.
Right now. Emerge. Right now.
No matter how many there are, I'll be able to pull it off. I've dealt with worse. Oh, crap. There he is. There you got. He can teleport. I see.
Scatter!
Right here. Right now. Right here.
Come on.
Scatter!
Boom! I can't take it anymore! Achievement! I did it. Nice kill. I destroyed the collective.
Don't you have an easy way to figure this out?
Yeah, you live in a simple world.
You were only designated as number 36? What a shame. From what I can see, your talents merit a smaller number. Putting aside the validity of the data, it is meaningless to judge individuals based solely on their jnana energy.
What you said to Ilias has now become a memory shared by all members of the Hive.
Yeah, and it's contradictory.
You've channeled and amplified their selfish desires! You're trying to destroy my Hive from the inside out!
Human minds are not infinitely pliable, and your hive has stretched many of them to their limit. Once your authority as Overmind starts to wane,
I'll see you next Friday.
it won't be long before your subjects snap back.
Alright, thank you very much, Chris, for joining.
Is it worth living here like a machine? Being a tool for the rest of my life? As soon as one
also,
person
Patrick,
begins to
please
have
and
these
thank
thoughts,
you.
Selfishness, doubt, and fear will propagate.
Thank you.
Thanks to the web of consciousness that you built. At this stage, your so-called hive has already fallen.
It's not over yet. I am the Overmind! There has to be a way!
It's too
late. Thank you.
Once the desires of the hive accumulate, beyond a certain threshold, they will kill their king.
Oh god, that is not for batteries.
My number shouldn't be so far down the list! Siraj is a liar!
This isn't what we agreed to!
I should be the one in your position!
Interesting.
The Hive
of you guys have the ego the size of a planet. Yeah, that's the thing. When you're dealing with people who are very simple, you try to have simple things, and you try to see the world from a simple perspective. But when you try to assimilate that into a hive mind, things fall apart when information doesn't work with one another. So that's kind of why you shouldn't base things off of simple structures, but have the time and energy and patience to have some complexity to deal with. And the moral of the story is, don't be the high... Basically, the scapegoaters scapegoated themselves, and it was a house of cards, and everything fell apart on its own.
Members of a collective consciousness are more likely to reach consensus because of their shared memories and emotions. For example, Ilias did have differing perceptions, but he ultimately followed the collective consciousness's... However, this system is far from perfect. Based on this logic, the collective consciousness will generate an intractable diffusion effect upon encountering negative emotions.
Selfish desires, because everybody was out for themselves, and all those emotions kind of got people to sort of take it out on the Overseer, or the Overlord.
The disturbance that Ilias caused wasn't for naught. It made the collective question the Overmind.
Setbacks in the plan further amplified doubt, which diminishes the Overmind's influence. This inevitably causes the collective to generate negative emotions.
Apprehension, disappointment, panic, avarice. These negative emotions can be very well hidden, as humans generally do not share completely transparent channels of communication. But in the hive, where there are no secrets, negativity can spread like a tidal wave. Of course, what I said to Ilias was the trigger for all of this.
Because you knew what you said to him would contradict everything that Siraj would implant into the hive.
A few words were enough. Believe in the power of words, Siraj.
You were already thinking of a way to destroy the collective consciousness. Even back then, you knew that Ilias was the bait all along? But how did you know? Since when?
Since the very beginning of the story quest when Ilias saw Alhaitham.
I knew it from the moment I saw him.
Literally called it!
Moreover, I never looked down on you. My opinion of you has always been objective. You have a naive view towards the concepts of collective consciousness and human evolution, but you are intelligent and disciplined.
You can't make things simple.
You would never let a test subject escape. Mistakes like that are beneath you, and you also won't leave any mistake without a resolution.
So basically, Siraj intentionally let Ilias out to get Alhaitham?
I never thought I'd hear those words come from you. I know very well that you've never viewed me as an equal. When you were with us, you always had a distant look in your eyes. You don't need to hide it. I know it better than anyone else. The arrogance that comes with being a genius. Nobody likes being treated like that.
Yeah, well, maybe you're kind of judging the book by its cover.
Your perspective is entirely born from your habitual way of looking at things. From your perspective, you probably think I'm like you, someone who doesn't fit in. However, I've never placed myself on a pedestal.
Because he's never seen himself on a hierarchy. He's never had to do that. Okay.
I just want to distance myself from meaningless noise and look at everything objectively.
Same.
On the other hand, you have failed to come to terms with who you truly are. You care too much about winning and how others perceive you.
He's basically focused on the ends justifies the means approach.
You mean to say that I'm the arrogant one here?
Yeah! Because you've been very hypocritical towards everybody else, accusing them of the very things of what you are, and now you're finally realizing it for yourself.
Is that not so? Arrogant and emotionally fragile.
And that.
You view people as a simple, mediocre collective, while you regard me as one of your kind.
Regardless, I have lost. You can take me back to the academia and stand trial.
You will stand trial, yes. But arresting people isn't in my job description.
You're gonna ask me to do it, or you're gonna ask somebody else to do it?
I'm just an ordinary staff member. I believe it is the General Mahamatra's duty to escort you away.
Are we gonna have Sino to take you away? Oh, speaking of...
Sino? What are you doing here?
I followed the symbols. Looks like things have already been settled.
Okay.
Symbols?
I left a similar picture in my letter to him, and I made several similar symbols on the way here.
Only something complex to convey a secret message that even the simplest minded people don't get.
Wait, what do you mean you left a letter?
Didn't he contact, Sino a while back?
Oh, Paimon remembers! When Paimon first saw you, Arab said that you had left a letter for Sino.
Called it.
So you really did know that something was up with Ilyas from the start?
It'd be best if you didn't spout nonsense. I never employed any mode of trickery on you.
I never tried to drive you in a different direction. I basically played it coy the whole entire time.
By the way, I came across some information at the Academia a few days ago. If you practice the method discussed therein, your vision may improve. Do you need it?
Yes!
Seriously? By the way, Sino, Paimon heard that Siraj sent more people to the Academia. We can't let those jerks get away.
Don't worry. The Matra have started screening suspicious persons. And we've already arrested many of Siraj's associates.
Okay.
This was likely one factor that caused the Hive's consciousness to waver. Everything went as you predicted. Good. Seems like the interesting part is already over. I'll leave the arrests to...
And off he goes. There still are a lot of test subjects here.
Okay, finish off the quest! Even though there's more than 30.
Oh no.
But I see less than 30.
No. I was involved in all these plans to get rid of the acting Grand Sage?
Yes!
What came over me? How could I do something like this?
You were involved in a social thing where you were called on your lack and you agreed on your own.
We were accomplices without knowing it. But I'm afraid that Alhaitham might pressure the Matra into giving us heavier sentences.
Do the lower downs deserve all the punishment?
Whether he's the scribe or the acting Grand Sage, we can't afford to offend him.
Take on that burden yourself and stop trying to throw it off on somebody else by taking on the collective.
I didn't feel anything towards Alhaitham at first, since he wasn't well known. All the opinions I heard about him were negative, though. Siraj made us hate Alhaitham, and we blindly accepted that hatred and thought of him as a bad person. From how things look, we've done a lot of irrational things.
Yeah, I really wonder if this is reflective of certain political groups in real life.
I guess we're getting what we deserve. Could you help us apologize to Alhaitham?
Sure. Paimon will help you tell Alhaitham. But whether he chooses to forgive you is up to him.
It's okay. No matter what he chooses, apologizing will make us feel slightly better.
It's time to go.
Okay.
Let's go.
You're all under arrest for being subconsciously led into a crime which you led yourself into.
So, were they all duped? We can ask Alhaitham about that later.
Looks like I can't exist as Siraj number 36. Yet, my life as Ilyas goes on.
Yeah! Now you're gonna live with that shame that you tried to brush off by trying to enter into a community that you thought was going to take away your pain. But no, it brought it back even harder.
When I was at Gandharvaville, I thought about whether I should just come forward with the truth, but I didn't have the courage then.
You called yourself a hero, or others called you a hero, yet you didn't have the courage. A courageless hero.
So in the end, I lost my sense of justice. But I also wasn't able to conform.
Ilyas?
Don't be sad. I'm the one who deceived you. However, I didn't come out of this completely empty-handed. The moment the hive collapsed, an idea popped into my head.
That you didn't have to be part of it anymore?
I realized that the collective I was always trying to fit into wasn't as powerful as I had imagined.
Yeah, because it, like I said, it's a house of cards. It's gonna fall easily.
Understanding that gave me courage somehow. Perhaps one day I could be just like Alhaitham and not care about what anyone else thinks.
Maybe, but I think basically what he's trying to say is because he was able to see something for himself on his own terms, that gave him some courage on his own merit to be able to do something about the collective.
You can do it. Paimon believes in you.
In other words, in order to do something, you gotta get people to see with their own eyes and hear with their own ears.
Thanks. Well, I should get going. I'm one of the primary suspects in the case, so can you keep this a secret from my parents and my sister?
Fine.
Also, please apologize to Alhaitham for...
I really think this is the academia, because...
All the test subjects have been taken away.
The academia, back then in the older system, produced students like these, who are constantly tearing themselves apart, who were having to go into this sort of pseudo-collective thing. But now that that's a thing, I think Alhaitham should deal with people who are heroes and deal with people who are taken in by scenarios like these.
I'll have my subordinates seal the place, retrieve all documentation, and destroy the system.
In other words, it was a systematic thing to all the subjects.
Are you two hurt? I brought bandages and hemostatics.
Really? We actually get med kits at this point, despite the fact that we've been relying on food all the way up until everything up for now?
Paimon's fine.
Get some rest. Alhaitham is probably waiting for you at the entrance.
Fine.
Watch out for any of Siraj's associates who might still be in hiding.
Okay, you stay safe too.
Fine. Duh! I want to finish this off. I want to finish this off. I want to finish this off. Finish it off. Please and thank you. Yeah. Done. I want to finish the story quest off and be done with it and relax. And maybe do another live stream later on today.
Settled. We can return now.
Done. Move on. Next!
I actually thought it would have been settled sooner. This took much longer than I expected. Judging by your faces, it seems like you two still have some questions. I respect your curiosity, but I'm off the clock now, so I'm not going to field any questions.
Okay.
Hey, we're not your colleague.
You couldn't tell that was an excuse just now?
You couldn't see it as me saying I don't care.
What? Are you kidding me?
That's just... What do you expect, Paimon?
You're not leaving today until you explain what happened back at Siraj's secret base.
What happened?
See ya.
He's not gonna explain.
Hold it right there.
He's not gonna explain.
Are you done? Your behavior is reminding me of some other people.
So you are gonna explain, but why stop now?
Stop changing the subject.
It's too much of a hassle to explain everything from the top. You know what? Come with me.
So you are actually gonna divulge something to everybody.
Where to?
You'll know when we get there.
Done. Fell. Oh god. Why?
Is this your home?
Yes.
What's with you all of a sudden? Being all polite and inviting us over?
Also, Kabe's here.
Ah, you're back. Quick, come help me see if this painting's all straightened. Huh? Who are they?
Wait.
Stop making a fuss. They're obviously guests.
Yeah.
You're not from the academia, are you?
No, but I do have an academic background, which I am somewhat proud of.
I'm unsure she's seen you before. You're that person from that time in that one place.
What?
Wait, what? How do you know me? Oh no, do people know that I live here?
Yes, because you talked about you.
What? You're embarrassed only now of all times?
I think... What is it? Was it, like, Alhaitham's reasons, or Kabe, or Alhaitham looking at Kabe? I don't know.
Oh, you guys are roommates!
Yeah.
Yes, we are, but keep that to yourselves. Please, don't tell anyone else.
Why? Because you don't want to be seen as poor?
I keep a few books on collectives and the subconscious here at home. I'll get them. You all chat in the meantime.
You want to be personal.
Hey!
And he walks.
You're leaving just like that? What's the deal, Alhaitham?
He's trying to find somebody else for us to talk about. He's not gonna get involved himself. He's just gonna dump us on Kave. Damn it. Why
sorry,
now?
I know we've only just met, but I have to ask. Are you, you wouldn't happen to be actors that Alhaitham hired to pretend to be his friends, would you?
Oh god. You really think he's so arrogant he can't actually have actual friends?
What?
Guess not. I've never seen him invite friends home before, so please excuse my surprise.
But aren't you friends with him?
I wouldn't say friends exactly.
The fact that you are looking the other way and make it seem more mysterious leaves it all open for interpretation.
Okay, well, we used to be, but we're not anymore.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Don't worry about it. My name is Kave. I'm sorry to have met you under these circumstances. Anyway, please don't say anything about me living here.
Why?
You seem like you got a lot going on.
Are you serious? How could you... Of course. You're Alhaitham's friends.
What? That was a normal response. You exposed your own weakness.
Still, why do you have to treat me like he does?
Judging by the deafening din coming from the living room, you all must be getting along quite well.
That's your idea of getting along?
Entertain your own friends, why don't you?
I'll leave the books here.
Wait, what? We skimmed through a few pages. The contents are too historic and difficult to understand.
I'm dizzy from reading. This is way too complicated. Why don't we just ask questions instead?
What if the questions involve more books?
Paimon wants to know, oh, how did you know about the collective consciousness's weakness?
True.
A year ago, Siraj presented his thesis to the Grand Sage, who offhandedly asked for my opinion. I actually responded with 2 lines of reasoning. The first, as I've already said, was that his research was on human evolution, a subject prohibited by the academia. The second was that I thought the direction of his research was too extreme, but his approach too conservative.
Again, the political language being brought about here.
Wait, that's too conservative? He built such a large lab, gathered all those people, and even tried to get rid of you!
That's more like too fascist at this point.
One way to stabilize a collective consciousness is to remove the test subject's humanity altogether.
Now we're really talking about fascism at this point.
The optimal solution to achieve collective consciousness is to focus solely on the overmind and treat the other test subjects as tools.
Oh, crap. Someone wanted to have a political uprising in the academic institution.
That's way too dangerous. You're not seriously considering that.
I'm merely stating the facts. If Siraj had done that, I would have felt his work to be just as senseless. It's impossible for any species to evolve overnight, and humans without their humanity cannot be called humans. That's why the academia prohibited research into human evolution. Most research of this kind tends to run contrary to evolution.
Yeah.
Paimon gets it now.
I just get it in many different ways. Like branched off into different flows and ebbs.
Ha! That's rich coming from you. If humans aren't humans without their humanity, then you'll probably evolve into some other species in another decade, I wager.
What about you? Are you going to devolve into a fungus?
He's changing the subject.
At least I'd be a fungus with empathy. Sorry for eavesdropping, but what happened to you guys? Are you in trouble?
Funny he says fungus with empathy, because we kinda did that in the previous story quest.
Sort of. We encountered a strange researcher that had it out for us.
Are you all okay?
Yes!
Huh. So that's how things went.
Yes!
Such is life. If only he'd known, Alhaitham could have stayed indoors today, and the whole thing could have been avoided, right?
Wait, if he did? Maybe it would have gone on for longer, but
Plus, he could have helped me with the housework for once. See those books? They've been sitting there waiting for someone to sort through them for an age. If you're not gonna read them, tidy them away. They don't belong there.
They are like a couple. Put it away.
Can you feel the awkwardness in the air? I hope you're aware of your lack of conversational skills.
And you're still trying to change the subject.
Oh, so the pot's calling the kettle black, is he? Well,
I'm doing quite well. Much better than that painting you're trying to hang on the wall.
You don't understand anything. Stop criticizing my taste in decoration!
Kami seems to be upset again. Did we come here to be upset by Alhaitham? Is he trying to find, like, another person to piss off?
Paimon can't tell which of them is more problematic. Let's just get this over with and leave.
Maybe they're both equally problematic. Maybe they both have problems, and it's like sticking two dangerous chemicals up together and expecting them not to explode on each other.
You whisper very loudly.
That's your idea of whispering?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any more questions?
Did you answer any of our previous questions?
Let Paimon think. Oh, by the way, the other researchers apologized to you. They hope that you can forgive them.
He's like, I'll think about it.
I bear them no ill will. More accurately, I don't really care about what they think of me.
Then what do you care about?
To some extent, they were also fooled by Siraj. The Matra will take this into account at their trials.
But you don't want to let him off the hook just yet.
Ilyas also said that he wanted to tell us the truth at Gandharvaville, but he didn't have the courage. He apologized to you too.
And my guess is Alhaitham is going to say that's on him.
It doesn't matter. I never considered asking him to come forward with the truth.
Close enough.
Judging from his experiences, he's more courageous than the average person. There's no need to lay even more criticism on him. Criticizing the brave only shows how weak you yourself are. I'm going for dinner in 10 minutes, so I'll field one last question.
Paimon doesn't have any more questions. How about you?
What were you actually interested in? What was his reason?
Oh, yeah. You only started investigating with the Matra at the Academia, but after meeting Siraj, it didn't seem like you were interested in him or his experiment.
Then what was Alhaitham's reason? Why did he go throughout the whole entire thing?
I had no interest in him personally, but I was curious as to why so many people were willing to form a collective consciousness with him.
So it was a personal academic interest.
I now understand the reason.
Something to do with the current atmosphere of the Academia, I suppose. That's a much better one.
Correct. The fall of the Sages and the shutdown of the Akasha terminals deeply affected the Academia.
You want to change what happened at the Academia, and you want to set a better example.
The fact that Siraj's project attracted so much interest, despite not being approved, speaks to the lack of research projects as of late. As the acting Grand Sage, I'll have to figure something out.
You gotta give people the means to come up with new motivations and solve all these small little problems.
To do. He didn't deserve the outcome that he had received.
Paimon understands now. Oh, you're pretty serious when it comes to work, huh?
Yes.
I think minimum viable seriousness is a more apt description. I'll do my best to take care of this mess until my resignation is approved.
Resignation? He's giving up?
Wait, your resignation?
So he's not gonna be Sage, but...
Yes. I've already submitted my resignation to the Academia. Soon, I'll resign as the acting Grand Sage and go back to being its scribe.
Well, that actually threw me off. I thought he was going to do something about that, but he suggested doing something different, yet he's not going to take the position of doing something different.
I don't think Siraj knew about that. If he had waited just a few more days before acting, I would have already resigned.
So in other words, he did it to get you to resign?
What he'd do then wouldn't have been any concern of mine. However, even without my input, his unstable model would have collapsed for some other reason, so it makes no difference.
But why do you want to resign?
I'm not suited to be a sage, nor do I want to be one. The official process to select the new sages is already underway, but this process is long and takes far too much time. If I serve as acting Grand Sage for too long, the position might become permanent. That would be troublesome. This job isn't something I want to spend the rest of my life doing.
You seem to have a pretty clear direction for yourself.
It's important to keep your priorities straight. Well, it's about time.
Oh, now that you say that, Paimon's kinda hungry.
See ya.
Goodbye. Finish the quest! Yes! The illusions of the mob. Done! Alright, that's it. I gotta go. Thank you all for joining. Thanks everybody for having the patience to deal with this. And I'll see you all next week, Monday or Tuesday. Alright? Bye!